Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Merry stupid o'clock. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. You might wonder why the hell am I up so early in the morning handling this? Well, I'll tell you. Because I am catching a movie directly after work with my mom. I do not want to be going on 4 hours sleep tomorrow, either with the mittens there. So, I'm preemptively doing this video now at 4:59 a.m. in the morning on Saturday so I can get this out to you tomorrow morning, the usual schedule without being zombified. Alright, we are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC this morning, but before we get going, the usual disclaimers. First off, you are going to see the link to this report right there in the description box, alongside the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Now, folks, when we talk about the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, folks, please go ahead. Use your headphones, all right? Okay, so we left off 15.7. Oh, no, we read consent at age of majority, which was a line of bull. So let's see what else you're going to cover. 15.8, registering complaints, like that ever does any good. The private special education program shall develop and make available to parents and students a set of written procedures that may be used to register complaints regarding the student's education and care at the school. The private special education program must also adopt and publish grievance procedures for students and for employees, providing for prompt and equitable resolution of complaints alleging discrimination based on sex or disability. Now remember, folks, they can do this. Write that business letter, like Jennifer Musumba says, instead of, fucking talking to someone. But if it's court ordered, nothing gets done about it. Nada. Zip. Zilch. Zippity doo dah. As long as it falls in one of the JRC's vague categories, they're allowed to shock them and torture them for it. Good. We got that established. Great. Fantastic. God, I want to burn this school to the ground. 16.1 Healthcare Policy and Procedure Manual. The school, okay, disclaimer, I'm not going to burn the school down. It's just, I'm allowed the thought. Now, move on. The school shall have comprehensive written healthcare policies and procedures manual that clearly describes provisions made for medical, nursing, and infirmary care of students. The manual must be approved by a licensed physician, include all the applicable policies and procedures, and made available to staff. But do they use it? Written material doesn't really do much if it's never implemented. Now, does it? Just saying. 16.2 Physician Consultation. The school shall secure the services of a licensed physician available for consultation. But how often do they have access to that doctor? Oh, I remember, once a month. Is that really going to be good enough for a school that shocks kids repeatedly just below the lethal limit? Yeah, no. This is how kids die. 16.3 Nursing. The school shall secure services of a registered nurse or a licensed practical nurse available deemed as necessary by the department, depending on the healthcare needs of the school population. Remember when that New York report found that one registered nurse and she hadn't had her license renewed in years? But they're going to tell us it was implemented, though. Now, aren't they? Liars. 16.4 Emergency First Aid. The schools shall have written policies and procedures for emergency first aid and care, including training of all direct service staff by a certified instructor in emergency aid, secure storage of adequate first aid supplies, including but not limited to bandages, body substance isolation gloves, gauze, adhesive tape, hydrogen peroxide or other cleaning solutions, and Epicac. Storage of easy access to first aid and supplies and healthcare policies, procedures in major activity areas. Posting of telephone numbers for the fire department, police station, poison prevention center, hospital emergency room, ambulance service serving the school and living quarters and educational facilities. That's kind of hard to use when you have staff staring down your back like a fucking hawk. And remember, they don't like to report even life threatening injuries because then they get exposed. Procedures to be followed in the case of illness or emergencies such as motor vehicle accident, including methods of transportation and notification of parents. Procedures to be followed in the case of fire or other emergency. Procedures for informing parents of any medical care administered to their child, of any injury or illness that requires care other than the basic first aid, and procedures to be followed in the case of illness or emergency if parents cannot be reached. See, that's very interesting because if you remember, they refused to let Andre McCollins go to the goddamn hospital. His mother actually had to show up and drag him out of the school and take him to the hospital so he could get treated. He was already catatonic by the time she had got to them. So I find it interesting that the state of Massachusetts is again going to blow smoke up our ass and tell us that, yeah, you obviously see where I'm going with this. 16.5, we're going to close off here, folks. Administration of medication. The school has developed and implements written policies and procedures regarding the administration of medication, including but not limited to the following. No medication is administered to a student without written authorization from a parent. Such authorization shall be removed annually. No prescription medicine shall be administered to a student without the written order of the physician prescribing the medication to that student. The school maintains written policies and procedures regarding prescription and administration of medication, including authorization, packaging, and staff training. Any charge of medication or dosage must be authorized by a new order from a physician. A written record of administration of prescribed medication to students shall be maintained. Such a record documents the side effects of medication and indicates notification to attending physician of changes in the student's behavior or health that may result from medication. Oh, for the love of God. But we're not going to talk about the fact that we just yank students off of medicine without really monitoring it, punishing them for the side effects of doing that. Now, are we? All students shall be kept in a locked, secure... Oh, God damn, sorry. All medicine shall be kept in a locked, secured cabinet labeled the student's name, the name of the drug, and the directions for its administration, which they'd never use because they're too busy shocking them. The school shall dispose of or return to the parents any unused medication. Medications must be delivered to the school by a responsible adult in a container labeled by a physician or pharmacist. Provisions must be made for the refrigeration of medications when necessary. The school shall have a written policy regarding the amount of medication to be kept on the premises at any one time for each student receiving medication. A review of medications administered to a student shall be incorporated into all the progress reviews conducted for the student. I find this interesting that they're saying this is implemented and response required. No. Why? Because their paperwork looks good? Because what does JRC hit these impressionable parents with? They want to get these kids off the medications. That's their selling point that they use. Come on, folks. We're gonna unzombify your kid. We're gonna put them on this device. It's gonna fix them right up. They'll never need medication again. And now you're going to sit there and tell me that they actually implement proper medications? Bullshit. Bullshit. Look at every single court case they've ever been in. The 2006, the 2012, the fucking current one. Just look at them. Their own words condemn them, state of Massachusetts. Listen when they are telling themselves on themselves. They have said time and again the goal is to remove the students from being on medication. And if you think they're doing that responsibly, I got a river in Egypt I can sell you. Nothing they do with these kids is responsible. It's psychotic and it's sick and it's straight out of a Nazi concentration camp. And on that note, folks, I'm going to go ahead and close out for this morning. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. And the few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.